Hello, everybody. How's it going? Today's day 20 of 21 days to 2021. Man, second to the last day. It's been a real challenge for me, both physically and mentally, to create all of these series of videos. And I hope that, it's been a great value for you guys and as much as a value for you as it has been for me. And I just truly appreciate and thank you guys so much for tuning in and also for all of the comments and messages that I've been sent. I really appreciate the feedback and I really appreciate you guys sharing this information with people that you care most about. And today we're going to talk about a very important and powerful message, and it's really about progress and persistence. Because when it comes to creating the most amazing year ever in 2021, we've got to have some progress. And it's not going to come unless we have persistence. And the best thing to do always is to look it on up in the dictionary. So when it comes to progress, it's basically the forward or onward movement towards a destination. Genius, right? And persistence is firm or obstinate continuance in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. Well, there you have it, guys. That's the whole training right there. I mean, really, all you got to do is look up those two words. And then maybe, of course, we're going to go find a vehicle or set some short or some long-term goals and just do those two things and you will arrive. So let's have some campfire talk tonight, and it's going to be more of one of a lengthy video, but that's okay. We're just hanging out over here. But there's just no way to cover this topic without really telling some really good stories. And when is it best to tell stories? When you're next to a campfire. I wish you guys could see the stars out and the moon out tonight, and this is just one of my favorite places to be on the planet. Okay, so let's quickly cover some of these things. Why do most people quit their New Year's resolutions usually by the end of January? You ever notice that? And perhaps maybe it's because they weren't prepared. Perhaps maybe it was they didn't spend the time to break down why people don't have a success when it comes to those New Year's resolutions or creating some good habits. Okay, and so let's discuss that. Number one thing we want to talk about tonight is upward and downward spirals. And sometimes people just don't recognize that they're in a downward spiral until it's too late. I mean, when should we really start doing some things about our exercise and our diet? When we have a heart attack or a stroke? That's a little bit too late. And what happens is our health or our relationships or our business, I mean, by the time you figure and you realize it, it's already, I mean, the problem was existing for a few months or a few weeks or maybe even a few years of time. Isn't that the honest to God truth? And when it comes to your life and winning, it's very rare that you just are like on a crash course and all of a sudden, boom, you're winning and you're top of the world. No, it's usually a spiral and one thing leading to another and a panic management where we're always choosing the lesser of two evils. And I remember those days in college when I was just broke as a joke and I was a frat guy and we spent all of our money on alcohol and clubbing and just going out and having a good time. And there was times, every time I would work hard all week and I was always working in restaurants and you get your paycheck or you get all your tip money and poof, it's gone. And I remember those days I was so broke I would have to choose, am I going to pay my cell phone bill or I'm going to pay my health insurance? And what's ludicrous is with the lifestyle that I had, I pay my cell phone bill. Wouldn't you do the same? So, and then that led to the next thing. And because you're minimizing your choices and then you feel bad and then you're getting down and then you're not attracting success and you make even more poor decisions. And next thing you know, you're in the dump. And that's a downward spiral. But the reality is no matter where you are in a downward spiral or in an upward spiral, you can always choose to go up or down. Right? You can be, there's people that started going up and then all of a sudden they think, I'm just going to kick back and relax. I got it made. And next thing you know, boom, they're back in the dumps. So never forget where you came from or you're definitely on the way back. Okay, so upward and downward spirals. The second thing my teachers taught me and one of my best friends on this entire planet and mentors really taught us how to change our thinking. So many things about our thinking, but Mr. Danny Bay told us, think biggest when you're lowest. And if you look back upon your life, or if you've ever watched one of those inspirational movies, it's true, isn't it? When do you have those breakthrough moments? When you're in a moment of disgust. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you're just down in the dumps and you couldn't go no further. That's when people have those dreams, that aspiration, that motivation where one day I'm just gonna have, do, be, right? And it's when you're in that low point, you guys, that's when you gotta think big. That's it's so critical to think big is when you're lowest. And a lot of people might think you're ludicrous, like everything's going wrong, like fire bombs are dropping and people are quitting on you, and numbers are down, and your income is down. And it's so funny that when your thinking is stinking, your paycheck is shrinking. But if you just understand how life works and that there are seasons, and after there's a boom, there's a bust, and after a bust, there's a boom, and after there's winter, there's springtime, and there's seasons, guys. After COVID-19 and coronavirus, guys, next year is going to be the most insanely, most opportunistic year of all time. So we got to start thinking big as the fireworks are going off, as you're setting your goals. We got to start thinking biggest when you're lowest. Now, number 3, proper speed and proper action. I mean, it's really important that, we have, sometimes people think they're doing like the proper action, but they're just not doing it fast enough. Imagine if you had 2 sticks and you're trying to rub them together to make a fire. Well, the proper action is to do this, right? But what if you're just doing it too slow, right? And Mr. Bay taught us that if you're doing this, I don't care if you're doing this for 1,000 years, guys, you ain't gonna light the fire. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have proper action and the proper speed, and you're gonna create that momentum. You're gonna create all of that fire. Okay. So also when you talk about being consistent and persistent, right? You got to keep on doing that proper action long enough. I got told a story when I was 17 years old. And it was about a frog in a well. Okay, you like my cute little frog over here? Now imagine there's a frog stuck at the bottom of the well, right? And every single day, let's say this well is 20 feet high. Every day the frog jumps up 2 feet, but slides back 1. And then the next day he jumps up 2 feet and he slides back 1. Now, why is that true? Because, guys, there's a natural gravity that is acting upon all of us. If you don't use it, you do lose it. It's just seemed like lifting weights in a gym. You can't pump the weights hard for 1 week and then take a 3-month break and then hit the weights hard again for 2 weeks and then take a 1-year break, guys. When I fell off the roof and I shattered my spine in both my feet, I'm not kidding you guys. Literally in less than 2 months, my legs, because I wasn't walking, were gone. And I mean gone. It was skin and bones. There was zero muscle. After 10 months, 10 and a half months, guys, I tried to stand up for even 5 seconds and I couldn't even do it for 5 seconds. My legs were gone. If we duct tape your arm to the side of your body like this for 3 months, after 3 months, guys, you don't have an arm. Okay, let me just tell you guys. So you have to be doing the right action at the right speed, but you got to be consistent with it and persistent with it. And you got to do it and keep on doing it, even if you don't have visible results. What do I mean by that? Well, we learned that one from the bamboo tree. And when it comes to the bamboo tree, do you guys know when you plant a bamboo and it starts growing after 1 year, it's only roots, and above the surface, there are no visible results. Right? If you start lifting weights after 2-3 days, you're sore, you feel it, but there's no visible results, right? But if you stay consistent with it, even in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or maybe a month, you're not huge overnight or ripped overnight. No, you've probably got to lift weights and stay consistent and exercise for months and months of time, and then you're going to start noticing a difference. Well, when it comes to the bamboo tree, not the first year or the second year or 3 years, it takes 5 years to grow that root system. No visible results. But on the 5th year, what happens is that bamboo tree will start to grow upwards. And in 5 weeks, it will literally grow 90 feet, guys. 90 feet in 5 weeks. You can look that up. That's a bamboo tree. So let me ask you a question. To be that successful 90-foot bamboo tree, did it take only 5 weeks? Or did it take 5 years and 5 weeks? So sometimes, guys, we need to be sharpening our axe. Sometimes we need to be studying and training and trying. Sometimes we're rubbing the sticks together and we just don't have smoke yet. We don't have fire yet, but we're doing the right action and the right speed, and it might be practice. But as we go into the next year, you better choose out a couple of new skills, a new vehicle, set some goals, and we're going to go to work on that. But you need to be uh, consistent and persistent with it. Number 5 is we definitely got to have measurable progress in a reasonable amount of time. And what does that mean? Well, how long should the average second grader be in second grade? The answer? About 1 year. That's what Mr. Jim Rohn says. Anything else is unacceptable. Don't you guys think that every kid should be in that grade just about 1 year? You can't have a 3-year second grader and be in fourth grade for 2 years and in fifth grade for 5 years. I'm telling you guys, it just don't work that way. So when it comes to achieving, when it comes to hitting your goals, when it comes to having progress, guys, we got to be moving along and having measurable progress in a reasonable amount of time. And that's never going to happen if you're not tracking your numbers and tracking your results, okay? And number 6, last thing we're going to talk about is, hey, no quitting, okay? Be relentless. Now, everybody has what we call an IQ level. And what does that mean? It means your I quit level, not how smart you are. And everybody has this scale in their life. Everybody has a scale, okay? And it kind of looks like this. Okay, and on one side is excitement and results, and the other side is fear and doubt. This is why people quit their New Year's resolution in the second or the third week, because they say, hey, I'm gonna get in shape and I'm gonna go on a strict diet. I'm gonna eat only organic foods. I'm gonna cut out soda. I'm gonna cut out eating terrible greasy french fries and burgers, and I'm gonna go sign up for 24-hour fitness. And they go to Lululemon and they load up on spandex pants and they get all the creatine and whey protein and buy their gloves, and they're all pumped up, and then they hit the gym. And then they're at the UFC gym and they're cranking away, and the first day it's all good. And then the second day they wake up and they're like, oh, I can't even wash my hair, my arms, I can't feel my arms. But they stick it out a little bit. It's uncomfortable. But you know what happens, guys? After a week, they're like, you know what? I'm still overweight. The scale's not dropping fast enough. Or after a week or two, they're not getting the results super fast, because we're in an instant gratification world. We want now, 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 now. And I'm telling you guys, it ain't like an iPhone filter where you can make yourself skinny or make yourself taller, or you know what I'm saying, guys? Even a baby takes 9 months. 9 months to create a baby, guys, okay? So reality is, guys, as soon as fear and doubt outweigh results and excitement, you're done. Okay, and if you look at people, that's why they're done, because they don't understand the relationship, and they don't know how to look at that fear and look at that doubt and say, and minimize it and say that's gonna be there. You're not expecting to see results right away. It might take 5 years for you to become a success, and that's okay. And so today is a very, very important message, but the last thing I want to end with is, how do you beat this? How do you tip that scale? How do you not be the quitter? It's very, very simple. And I hope that you guys are paying attention right now, because it's called surrender to your purpose. What does it mean to surrender to your purpose? That's why it's important to sit there and clearly identify, why the heck are we watching or doing this video? What are we doing here, guys, in this planet, right? What's your reason for living? What's your reason for going out there and having to make more money or more time in your life? What do you want to? What kind of legacy do you want to live or leave behind for your children? And that's why anybody who's a parent understands this. You have to find something that is your burning motivation and your desire, something that makes you almost tear up, something that you feel like you have to get done on our limited time here. And if you're working for a goal for somebody else, someone you love, guys, you're good to go. because it's very easy to let yourself down, but it's very hard to let down somebody you love. So when it comes to parents, they understand this. And we talked about this in one of the previous videos, right? What is your purpose as a parent? To do whatever you have to do for your kids so that they can live an amazing life and be sheltered and protected and loved and provided for. So when it comes to surrendering to your purpose, guys, think about this one, okay? We prioritize things in our life. Okay, we prioritize things every single day. This is more important than this. This is more important than that, and so on and so forth. But we often tend to take things for granted, and we don't think about things in a proper priority until we don't have them. If you've ever lost somebody that you love immediately and suddenly and without warning, that sucked, didn't it? And that's the reality, right? Is that what if we don't walk around every day thinking about air, right? Until you don't have it. I mean, any of you guys almost drowned before? What if somebody came up behind you and just, started choking you, right? If somebody just came up and put what happens after 30 seconds? What happens after a minute? How much money would you give me if this was you? No oxygen whatsoever. None. How about a minute and a half? 2 minutes. Would you give me 5 grand for one breath of air? How about 20 grand? How about 100 grand? How about every dollar in your bank account? The shirt off your back and the deed to your house and the title to your house or your car. You would give everything you had for one breath of air when you don't have air. But nobody walks around every single day thinking about air. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, because we take things for granted. Okay, like time, like freedom. So as we sit here today next to the fire, I want you to get into that mindset and have that campfire talk and that, you know, that mental thought process in thinking about reevaluating your life, because 2021, guys, it's here. It's coming in less than 48 hours. And the reality is all of us are here together. And each of us has all of us, and all of us need each of us, and we're going to do this together. And you've got friends and family and people that care about you and love you, or else you probably wouldn't even be around or watching this video. So that's not the problem. The problem is not left, right, up, or down. You've got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, where the heck do I want to be? 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and the last 7 days of my life. What do I wanted to accomplish and do and be and have? And if you are clear on those goals and you just paid attention to some of the things we briefly, lightly touched on in the last 20 days, and tomorrow we're gonna talk about taking action, and tomorrow we're gonna talk about finding a vehicle, and tomorrow we're gonna talk about setting those goals, because to each of us it's different, something completely different. Some of us don't need any more money, but you need more time, or you need more meaning in your life, or you're looking for more happiness, or whatever it is. That's the goal. And goals can be both tangible and intangible in your head. But I'm just telling you guys right now, if you're not even in the mindset to go out and seek for that and put some time into planning it out, I don't know why you're watching these videos. But I hope that if you're watching this, you're watching it with an open mind and an open heart, and you're ready to go out there and make some serious changes with an attitude of gratitude. And if you do, the next year is going to be such an amazing time. And I truly appreciate all of you guys tuning in. This is just kind of warm up for me. Next year, I plan on creating a channel that's all about Hawaii and traveling around here and eating the most ridiculous foods and checking out waterfalls and mountaintops and magical beaches and cooking and barbecuing on the beach and having those life experiences. And it's all going to be in virtual reality and one day even in augmented reality. We're going to take trips out there to Japan and Korea and all over Asia and the Pacific, and it's going to be wild. And that's my goal. What's your goal? What are you moving towards? What are you going to create next year that's something of value, not just for you, but somebody else? So sorry for the lengthy video. We're about 20 minutes right now, guys. But man, I just wish all of you guys were here with me in Hawaii, sitting by a campfire, cracking a few cold ones, and just talking under the stars. It's amazing. And I hope that one day we get to have that experience. So, all of you guys, take care. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Be safe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Aloha.